Hi students, welcome back to Civil Ed. I am Professor SPN from Civil Ed team. In our previous video lecture, we had learnt about various design approaches for flexible payment design. Now we shall take up each design approach in detail. In this video lecture, I shall present the group index method of flexible payment design in detail. So one thing at this stage I wish to remind you that if you have not viewed the previous video lecture, that is our payment design lecture 5, that forms the base for what I am going to present now. So if you haven't viewed that previous video lecture, please go back, view the introduction, that is different approaches in flexible payment design, and then begin with this video. So now let's begin with group index method of flexible payment design. This method is purely empirical, as it is completely based on the past experience and experimentations. It was introduced by D.J. Steele in 1945. This method adopts the HRB soil classification, that is Highway Research Board soil classification, to classify the subgrade soil. This method is purely based on the physical properties of the subgrade soil and traffic volume only. So it does not consider any other factors. As you all know, if we take up mechanistic approaches, we have several factors to be considered in the design of flexible payments, but this being the oldest method, that is, it was used during the, it was started during the year 1945, so it dates back to such a long time before, and they had considered only the physical properties of the subgrade soil and traffic volume parameters alone in this method. Further, the thickness requirement of the payments is based on the group index values, which is calculated based on the percent fines, liquid limit and plasticity values of the subgrade soil. The value of the group index for subgrade soils, it ranges between 0 to 20. And what does this group index value denote? So let me tell you, higher value of group index denotes that the subgrade soil is weak. I'll repeat, a higher value of the group index denotes that the subgrade soil is weak, and it demands for greater pavement thickness for a given traffic volume. So this is the introduction of this group index method. So further, let's move on. Let's look into the design procedure to be followed to arrive at the thickness of the pavement. To begin with, in the first step, we calculate the value of the group index by knowing the physical properties of subgrade soil, for which we make use of this equation, that is Gi equal to 0.2a plus 0.005 AC plus 0.01 B into D. So if you recall, this equation is the same which we have used to classify soils in HRB method of soil classification. So let's look into the different variables that are involved in this equation. So in this equation, A is the portion of the material passing 0.074 mm sieve. So what's the range of this? So greater than 35% and not exceeding 75% is what is considered over here. So A is the portion of the material passing 0.074 mm sieve, and that range is greater than 35% and not exceeding 75%. Next, the value B, the variable B in this equation is that portion of the material passing 0.074 mm sieve, and the range is greater than 15% and not exceeding 35%. So within this range, whichever excess is going to fall, so that is what is considered as the value B. And once we take up a practical example, you will get to know. So while solving problems, you will understand it better, how exactly we extract the value of B. Next, C is the value of liquid limit in excess of 40% and less than 60%. And the last, D is the value of plasticity index exceeding 10% and not more than 30%. So now please note that one way of obtaining the value of group index is by using this equation. We have another way to obtain group index also. That is, another way of obtaining the group index value is by making use of these charts. So now kindly observe these charts carefully. We have two charts over here. See, just observe this triangular portion. This is one chart, and another triangular portion is another chart. Both of these two charts have percentage passing on number 200 sieve on the x-axis. So this x-axis of both the charts have percentage passing number 200 sieve. Number 200 sieve is nothing but 0.0074 mm sieve. Okay, please note that number 200 sieve is nothing but 0.074 mm sieve. On the y-axis of both the charts, we have the group index values. Group index values are marked on the y-axis. If you observe here, we have so many inclined lines over these charts, and the first chart makes use of liquid limit values and percentage passing of the subgrade soil to obtain the group index values, whereas the second chart makes use of plasticity index values and percentage passing number 200 sieve of the subgrade soil in arriving at the group index values. I'll repeat again. The first chart makes use of liquid limit and percentage passing number 200 sieve. These two values are used for arriving at the group index values for the soil subgrade, whereas the second chart makes use of plasticity index and the percentage passing number 200 sieve. These two values are utilized in arriving at the group index values of the subgrade soil. Continuing with the step 2 of the design procedure, the anticipated traffic is estimated based on the following table. So we have traffic volume and number of commercial vehicles per day in this table. If the number of commercial vehicles per day is less than 50, it is considered as light traffic. If the number of commercial vehicles per day is in between the range 50 to 300 numbers, then it is referred to as medium traffic, and that number of commercial vehicles per day over 300 is considered as heavy traffic volume. So based on these three different traffic volume categories, we have different curves to be chosen in the design charts, and let's look into that. Moving on to the third step in the design procedure, observe this chart carefully. we have many components in this chart. So the first column is general evaluation of the subgrade. They have evaluated the subgrade as excellent, good, fair, poor, and very poor. This is based on the group index values in the second column. Next, we have the daily volume of commercial traffic in this block, and this group index method assumes that the surface and base thickness vary with volume of truck traffic, that is nothing but commercial vehicles. So they assume that the surface and base thickness vary with the volume of the commercial vehicles. So we need to consider the thickness of surface and base layers from this block. Next, beneath this we have to select sub-base thickness based on subgrade characteristics. So they assume that the sub-base thickness is dependent on the subgrade characteristics, and to decide the sub-base thickness we have to consider this block. So this chart gives us the pavement thickness, and that is of course in two different ways. The surface and base thickness is taken from one block, and the sub base thickness is taken from the below block. The procedure what we saw in the previous slide is redefined in a different way in this graphical representation. So now observe this graphical representation. So it has the group index values of the soil subgrade on the y-axis, and along the x-axis it has thickness of the pavement in centimeter units. So you have many curves which are given over here. The continuous line represents the combined thickness of surface, base and subbase layers, and the dotted lines represents the thickness of surface and base layers only. So knowing the value of the group index in the step 1, we have obtained the value of the group index of the soil, and based on the traffic type, so we can just read the thickness of the pavement on the x-axis. So this looks a bit convenient compared to the previous slide what we had seen just now. To understand the entire design procedure further, let's take up a numerical example. So the problem number 1 is like this. Soil subgrade sample collected from the site was analyzed and the results obtained are given below. Soil portion passing 0.074 mm sieve equal to 50%. Liquid limit is equal to 40%. Plastic limit is equal to 20%. So for this information, we are asked to design the pavement section by group index method for the anticipated traffic volume of over 300 commercial vehicles per day. So this is the problem, given problem. So they have given you the soil data and the traffic data, that is in terms of commercial vehicles per day. So we are required to use the group index method design procedure for solving this problem. So the group index value, that is the first step to find the group index value. We can obtain its value either by using the index charts or the group index equation. So that's what we saw in the procedure. Either by using the charts you can obtain the value of the group index value of the soil subgrade, and one more way to find the group index value is by using that HRB soil classification equation. Okay, so now we will follow both the ways and we will understand to solve this problem. First I will consider the charts for obtaining the group index values. So from chart 1, so which is chart 1 over here? So this bottom one is considered as chart 1, and above that we have the chart 2 for obtaining the GI values. As I told you before, this first chart makes use of liquid limit values. See, these inclined lines represent the liquid limit values along with percentage passing. Next, this second chart uses plasticity index values along with percentage passing. So now, based on the given information over here, that is soil portion passing 0.074 mmcu, this is the data given in the problem itself. So soil portion passing 0.074 mmcu is equal to 50%. So where is that 50%? On the x-axis. So this is 35, 40, 45, 50. So this vertical line represents 50% of the soil proportion passing 0.074 mmcu. Next, liquid limit values. So liquid limit 40% is what is given in the problem. So liquid limit, this first bottommost inclined line represents 40% of the liquid limit. So 40, next you have 45, 50, 55 and up to 60 you have so many inclined lines over here. So the first line, bottommost line, is represents 40 liquid limit. So what I'll do is I'll just connect this vertical line, that is 50 is the soil portion passing 0.074 mmcu and liquid limit 40%. So I'll reach somewhere at this point. So that point, if I consider, I should read the group index value in the horizontal direction along the left. So that reads group index value as, I think it is 3. This is 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 and so on. So in between 2 and 4 we can read it as 3. So that's what numerical value of group index for liquid limit 40, that's given in the problem, and percentage passing 0.074 mmcu is equal to 50%, again given in the problem. So that works out to be equal to 3 from this chart number 1. So next, moving on to chart 2. So if we want to read the group index value from chart 2, we need the plasticity index value. So liquid limit minus plastic limit is equal to 40 minus 20. What is 40? Liquid limit, and plastic limit is 20 given in the problem. That works out to be 20. Now let me use the chart 2. So here again the x-axis represents the percentage passing. So 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. Up to 55 we have the percentage passing. So in the problem it is asked for 50% percentage passing, and let me see the plasticity index value. What we have obtained is 20. Okay, so if you begin from here, 10, then 14 we have, then 18, 22, 26, and in between we have many other inclined lines. So let's search for this plasticity index 20 line, which is that. So 14, next is maybe 16, 18, 20. So this inclined line, please observe the cursor over here. This inclined line represents the plasticity index 20. So and corresponding 50% passing is 35, 40, 45, 50. So this vertical line, and somewhere here it will stop. So just if you have observed, so this is the point which marks the 50% passing 0.074 mmcu and a plasticity index value of 20. So horizontally towards the right, if I move, that group index value reads I think 3.5. this 0, 2, this is 3, and in between 3 and 4 we have 3.5. So the numerical value of group index from plasticity index value equal to 20 and the percent passing 0.074 mmsieve equal to 50% is equal to 3.5. So from chart 1 we obtained the value 3, that is here, and from chart 2 we obtained 3.5. So we are required to add those two values. So we got 6.5. So let's round it off to the higher value. So group index value works out to be 7 by the group index chart method. So next, one more way I'll find the group index, that is by using the equation given by the HRB classification. So let's look into that. From the group index equation, that is GI equal to 0.2A plus 0.005 AC plus 0.01 BD. So how have we got this equation? So that if you recall, I had explained in the step 1 of the design procedure. So this equation was given by the HRB soil classification, wherein we have 4 variables A, B, C and D. Let's see how to find these values. So the first value A, that is the portion of the material passing 0.074 mm sieve greater than 35% and not exceeding 75%. So what does it mean? A is that portion of the given percentage passing value, that is 50%. A is that portion of the given percentage passing value which is in excess or greater than 35%. So that works out to be 15. So 50 minus 35, which is equal to 15. So I'll repeat once again. A is that portion of the given percentage passing value which is in excess or greater than 35%. So by subtracting those two values, I'll get the excess amount above 35% up to 50%. So that works out to be 15%. Next, B. So B is the portion of material passing 0.074 mm sieve greater than 15% and not exceeding 35%. So what is that? So B is nothing but it is that portion of the given percentage passing value, that is 50%, which is in excess or greater than 15%. So how do I get that? So again, subtracting 50 with 15, I get 35%. So what is this 35%? It is that percentage which was in excess above 15% with respect to the given value 50%. Okay, so that is the thing. Next, C is the value of liquid limit in excess of 40 and less than 60. So given liquid limit value is 40% and in above that value, how much more is the liquid limit value? So that is what is C. So given value is also 40% and the minimum that is the minimum range, the starting range of the value of C is also 40. So 40 minus 40 works out to be 0. So C value is 0 for this problem. Next, D. D is the value of plasticity index exceeding 10 and not more than 30. So plasticity index value, if you observe, we had already found its value. So it's nothing but liquid limit minus plastic limit, plasticity index, liquid limit minus plastic limit, that is 40 minus 20. We have got its value as 20. This is the plasticity index. So D is that value of plasticity index exceeding 10 and not more than 30. Exceeding 10. So above 10, how much more is it? So 20 minus 10, it works out to be 10 again. So D value is 10. A, B, C and D we have found. So we will substitute those values in the group index equation and it works out to be 6.5. So we can again round it off to a whole number, that is 7. So if you observe this, it is the same what we had got from the charts in the previous slide. But in exams, if you are not given the charts for obtaining the group index values, you must and should use the group index equation given by HRB classification for obtaining the group index values. So now further we'll move on to the pavement thickness determination. So for which we make use of this chart. So for the calculated value of the group index 7, that is got from the previous slides, the subgrade soil may be rated as poor from the design chart A. So this is the design chart A. So while I explained the design procedure, I had just explained this chart. We have this first column, general evaluation of the subgrade. So excellent, good, fair, poor, very poor. So that was based on the group index values 0 to 1, 2 to 4, 5 to 9, 10 to 20. So what is the value we have got? Group index is equal to 7. So that comes in the range 5 to 9, and so we can say the subgrade soil is rated as poor from this design chart. So with this value of the group index and the traffic values, okay, we can directly obtain the pavement thickness using this chart, or there is another convenient way which we can see in the next slide. But now what is the category of the traffic we can categorize? So by data, the given value of the commercial vehicles per day is over 300. So you can observe from this chart, so over 300, heavy, more than 300, we categorize it as heavy. So therefore the traffic volume may be taken as heavy. So these two are the parameters required to use this chart for finding the overall pavement thickness. But there is another convenient way, that is another graphical representation. I will be using that representation for obtaining the final pavement thickness. Now on choosing the traffic category as heavy traffic and having calculated the group index value equal to 7, let me use this chart B for obtaining the overall pavement thickness. So to begin with, from design chart B, this is what is the design chart B. I'll just try to find the thickness of sub base for a group index of 7. See, this y axis represents the group index value of the subgrade soil. So 0, 5, 10, 15, 20. So where is group index 7? So here 5, in between 5 and 10. So this line, this red dotted dashed line represents the group index 7. So in this thickness of sub base, which is that curve I should choose. See, the first curve is base only, it is written over here. Next, the next curve is selected material for sub base only. So thickness of sub base for GI, that is group index of 7, works out to be this point on the curve for sub base only. So I'll just mark that point over there, and vertically if I come down from that point, I'll end up with somewhere in between 15 and 20, that is the thickness in centimeter required. So if I draw a vertical line down that marked point, I'll get 17 centimeter. So that's what is the thickness of sub base for group index of 7, that is equal to 17 centimeter. Next, moving on further, the combined thickness of surface, base and sub base course using the curve for heavy traffic. So that is what is the category of traffic for more than 300 as given in the problem by data. So which is the heavy traffic curve here? So this last curve, if you observe, so we have so many curves: light traffic, medium traffic, and heavy traffic. So this last curve you need to consider for the same group index value, so that is 7. So horizontally I'll move here and I'll reach this curve over here and I'll mark that point, and from there if I vertically drop down, I will reach a value of 47 centimeter, that is in between 45 and 50. You can observe here. So that is 47 centimeter, which is combined thickness of surface, base and sub base course using the curve for heavy traffic. So this is the overall thickness of the pavement, and this 17 centimeter is the sub base thickness. So what is the value of base and surface course? So that we can obtain by subtracting. Hence the thickness of base and surfacing will be equal to 30 centimeters. So this completes the entire problem solving under the group index method. So you have just watched till now how exactly we were able to end up with these pavement thickness values using group index method. Having understood the design procedure of group index method, let's look into the demerits of the same. So this method emphasizes on only subgrade soil type and certain physical properties of the soil, such as liquid limit, plastic limit and plasticity index only. So it is just making use of subgrade soil parameters and traffic parameters, as we have seen, so and nothing else. So that's what we are listing in the demerits. The strength characteristics of the pavement materials used in other layers of the pavement greatly influence the pavement thickness, but they are not considered. So that's what we say here. This method does not consider the quality of sub-base and base materials for the design. So having these having these disadvantages in this method, we have just stopped using this, but presently we are using better approaches, design approaches, that is mechanistic approaches and semi empirical approaches for the design of flexible pavements. With this, we have come to the end of this presentation. Further, in the next presentation, we shall look into the remaining design approaches for flexible pavements, that is CBR method, ASTO method and so on. So hope you found this video presentation valuable, and for further continued video lectures on pavement design, kindly subscribe to our channel and keep updated. Thank you.